Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox, and I am coming to you today with a special treat. So you guys know there was no power last night, and I was shocked. Had absolutely no idea, but I think I was filled up with all types of violence from watching Narco all weekend. You guys watch Narco on Netflix? It is so good. Oh my God, second season was great. I just found out that they are confirmed for a third and fourth season. So if you guys are looking for something to watch and you haven't checked out Narcos yet, you should watch it. It does have subtitles, but don't let that deter you from watching it. It's so good. Anyway, the matter at hand. Why are we here today? Well, you guys, like I said, a special treat. A story time. Story time. Story time. Story time. Look at that light. Look at that light. Story time. Anyway, you guys, yes, it is before work. I'm on my way there. Let me make sure I don't get this sun in the background. And I was like, let me just go on and say it today since I don't have nothing else to do. So it's a precautionary tale of sorts. For my young rock stars out there, you guys know how I like to always give a story and give a lesson at the same time. So this one is no different. I'm not even going to tell you what it's about. We just going to get to this story time, shall we? Y'all, I'm all pumped up. I ain't even had my coffee. I'm actually at Dunkin' Donuts in the parking lot about to get some as soon as I finish this. Anyway, my 20s. You guys have heard me say plenty of times that I had a blast in my 20s. I always had fun anyway, even in high school. But something about when I graduated from high school, all of a sudden I became more aware of my sexuality. Now, I was a virgin and I had all intentions of keeping it that way. However, I all of a sudden realized that, now I'm just going to keep it real for you guys. I have never thought that I was really all that cute or beautiful. I mean, I can fix myself up, with the best of them, but I don't wake up pretty, and people that wake up naturally beautiful to me are people that I always say is just beautiful. I've always been able to fix myself up well, but I've always felt, or not always, but right around when I graduated from high school, I realized that I had some amount of sexual appeal. I've always felt sexy. I realized it right after I graduated out of high school. I kind of picked up a few pounds, not a lot, but I just, I realized that men were easier for me to, I shouldn't say manipulate, but, it was just like I could get men were attracted to not necessarily my look, but more of my attitude. So, I kind of started to feel like I could use that as my advantage to get to know men. And I've always been really good at flirting. Of course, I've retired some of my flirty ways as I've grown older and more responsible and shit. Yeah, I've always had that in my arsenal. So anyway, at 20s was a really good time. That's why I always say that, before people settle down, they should have just as much fun as they could. Okay, because yeah, I definitely did. Anyway, so I was exploring, I was dating. I used to love to go out on dates, meet new people, go places, eat, talk, movies, dance, and just wherever. I was just always one that, you didn't really have to do much to ask me if you wanted to go out. I would go. And of course, it just wasn't with no old ooga booga or some old crazy nigga. But if they was cool enough, I was definitely gonna give them a chance. We were gonna go out and have a good time. One day, my girlfriends and I, you guys remember Debbie and Rashawn from my Friday's Tale? Well, we used to hang tight like all the time. Those were my best friends. We used to hang so tight that we would dress alike. We would buy the same shit when we would go shopping, and then, when one of us would go pick up the other one to go do something. Well, Debbie and I lived together, but like Rashawn, and when we would all get together, we'd have the same shit on just because we were so around each other all the time. We had all the same shit. But we decided to go to Sloss and Swap Meet. You guys in LA are familiar with Sloss and Swap Meet. Very much the same as it had been, from the very beginning. It has jewelry, has shoes, clothes, mixtapes back at the day, where they would just put a whole bunch of music on one album, on one CD or one tape, and you would go buy it. So we were going to the swap meet just to walk around, look at some jewelry. You guys know my drug dealer girlfriend tendencies, y'all. It used to get fed up in Sloss and Swap Meet. We got to the swap meet and we were parking. Got out the car, of course, I'm always the one driving. When we got out of the car, there was this white convertible Mustang that pulled into the parking lot, and I could see it was two guys in there. And the guy that was driving was fine. Okay. And, you know, I've always been one to scope out what's happening around me, you know. So I saw the guy driving and he kind of looked up at me. He had his windows rolled up, but the top was down. And he had his music blasting. So I saw him, but I just, you know, I just kind of gave him the look. And I was thinking to myself, like, I guess I'll see him in the swap meet. You know, my girlfriends and I walked into the swap meet. This was the summertime, of course. And, you know, I had on my little teeny tiny skirt. Back in the day, you guys, we used to wear our damn skirts so short. Okay, it wouldn't be like bodycon tight or anything like that. It was like a A-line skirt, but it was like, I mean, like, seriously, like right at the cup of your ass. If that shit wasn't short enough, I would have my mom actually hem it for me and make it shorter. So, and I've always had legs was always my my crown and glory, you guys. So I would always have my legs out. Anyway, we were walking in the swap meet and going down the aisle, you know, looking at jewelry or whatever. By the time we had looped around to the second aisle, we saw the guy coming and his friend the opposite way. So one of them was really tall. I mean, totally my type. Tall, kind of basketball player build. So funny because my husband is not tall or anything like that. But like I said, I thought that the driver was really cute. And he was actually my height, you guys. And that was just like, I just always figures the one that's really cute is my damn height. But he was cute. And he had a really nice body, like a big, almost like a, not even a bodybuilder, but just, he was just kind of like swole a little bit. Something that I wasn't used to. He was not really my type, but he was so fine. And I knew he had that damn 5.0. And so anyway, we were walking by each other. When we first passed by each other the first time, you know, he just kind of smiled at me and I smiled back. So then, you know, I was just like, oh, it's going to become a little game because fuck, it's about 12 aisles in Sloss and Swap Meet. So I knew I was going to pass him a whole bunch more times. You know, we go to the next aisle, you know, kind of stop, look at the CDs, look at the mixtapes or whatever. He'd come in the same booth and kind of just walk by and, you know, I just kind of look over my shoulder like, next aisle, you know, go look at the tennis shoes. And he come in the same booth and, you know, he'll say, oh, yeah, those are nice. And I was like, oh, you think these are nice? Oh, yeah, those are real nice. I was like, okay, you know, go on the next aisle, you guys. Stop, look at the jewelry. Okay, and then here he come with his friend and, you know, he say something else like, oh, yeah, those earrings look good on you. Oh, you like these? You should get them for me. Oh, maybe I will. What's your name? I can't buy something for somebody I don't even know their name. Oh, Roxanne. So you guys, this whole little thing went on and on. Finally, by the time we got to like the 7th or 8th aisle, he was just like, so, you know, what do you think about us maybe talking later? Sounds good to me. And he was just like, okay, well, you know, give me your number. Of course. Now, did I have a cell phone? I think I might have had a cell phone back then because I think I got my first cell phone at 19. So, yeah, I probably had my cell phone back then. So, I gave him my number. I was like telling my girlfriends, like, ooh, he was cute, y'all. His name was, we're not going to say his real name, okay? We're going to say that his name was Anthony. How about that? Later on that night, you know, when I got home, Anthony called and we talked and chopped it up and had good conversation. And he was just like, oh, we should go out to eat one day. And I said, okay, you know. So he wanted to come pick me up from my apartment. And of course, Debbie, you guys, that's always been mama. Debbie is always the one that's keep me tame. And, you know, whenever I drink too much, she's always like, Roxanne, that's enough. Okay, that's exactly her voice. That's why I was looking a fucking mess at the blackout this year because I ain't had nobody there to tell me to sit my motherfucking ass down. Debbie was just like, you just met him. You can't just be having him come to the apartment. You need to meet him somewhere. So I was like, all right. We went to eat. I think we went to Coco's, which is like sort of like Denny's or something like that in LA. I don't even know if they still have Coco's. They still have Coco's out there, you guys? We met at Coco's and, you know, had a really good time. Had a good conversation. You know, kind of bothered me a little bit that he was my height. But it was not that big of a deal because he was cute. He had a nice body. He had a badass car, and back then, unfortunately, that was all that it required when you fucking 19, 20 years old. So we went out and that was it. And then, you know, talked some more on the phone over the next week or so. And he was just like, we should go to the movies. And I was like, okay. He was like, yeah, we'll go to the movies, get something to eat, you know, and I'll come pick you up. So, you know, I had been around him once and I had talked to him on the phone plenty of times, and I felt comfortable enough. And even though Debbie didn't feel that I should do it, I was like, the nigga coming to pick me up from the damn house. Okay, I wanted to get in the car. I wanted to ride, you guys. I wanted to floss, right? Okay. So he came and picked me up. We went to the movies. I think we went to go see House Party. It was either House Party 2. It was one of those. And then we went and got something to eat up in the marina. We were in the marina in LA. You guys know that was like the happening spot to go, right? So we went there and ate. And afterwards, I lived right off of Arba Vita and La Cienega. I don't know if those apartments are even still over there, but when when Deborah and I first moved over there, they had just built them, so they were like brand new, so that was like the spot to live. So I was proud of my little place or whatnot, and he was just like, so, you know, after we finished eating, all right, so what you want to do now? Okay, now I hadn't already explained to the boy that I was a virgin, because that was always... I was always upfront about that, because I just never want it to be a situation where guys didn't know where I was coming from. I've always been that way. Okay, the funny thing about being a virgin is guys would find it challenging. They would either think two things. Either they would not believe me and think I was just playing hard to get, or they would be challenged to try to break my virginity. But they didn't know that a bitch been a virgin all her life. I've been good at keeping my damn legs closed. Look, I would be upfront, and if they, you know, still felt like they wanted to go out with me, and if they felt, then I usually would know if these were the ones that were just challenged, just trying to get in my pants. You know, I just kind of got a kick out of it. Fuck, I'm getting a free meal, a free date, okay, some kissing time. I used to love to kiss. That bitch be done kiss for 7 damn hours. That's all virgins do anyway. It was a win-win, okay? He was good, I was good. So he was like, so what do you want to do now? And I was just like, oh, we can go back to my place if you want. He was like, well, you know, how about you come out to my place? And I was like, okay. I didn't see no problem with it. You know, like I said, I had been around him enough and I had trusted him enough. So we get on the freeway, you guys, and we driving and child, we driving and driving. Finally, I say, well, where do you live? He says, in Apple Valley. Now, at the time, I didn't know where Apple Valley is, but if you live in Los Angeles right now and somebody tells you they live in Apple Valley, you know that that is a fucking long ways away from Los Angeles, at least an hour drive, right? But I was going with the flow, you guys. He was cool. We was having a good time. Wind blowing in my hair, top down, you know, music blasting, all of that. We get out to Apple Valley. He lives in a back house. He has, the house in the front is beautiful. It's huge, has this huge ass pool in the backyard, and then it has this garage, and on the side of the garage there is another little house, and this is where he lived. I was like, oh, this is really, really nice, you guys. Lights on the pool, you know, little ambiance and everything. He was just like, yeah, thanks. He was like, my parents live in the house and up in the front. And I was like, oh, and I forgot to tell you guys that he was probably about 23, and you could tell that the family had money. He had a Mercedes car in the driveway, and then of course, like I said, he had the convertible 5.0, and then there was another like big ass truck in the, you know, so it was just like I was just impressed with everything. So I was just like, oh, this is cool, like I can, you know, I can get used to this. We go into his place. And I guess around this time, it's probably about 10:30. He was like, well, you know, you want something to drink? And I was like, yeah, I'll have something to drink. That's the first mistake. He makes me a drink. I don't even remember what it was, you guys. He was like, well, I can make a little something to eat. You want something to eat? And we had just ate. But he was real anxious. He wanted to make something to eat. And, you know, it was like, you know, we were trying to figure out things that we was going to do in this place while we just sitting here. So he fixed like some nachos or some shit, you know, I mean, just real basic, and put the chips in the bowl, put the cheese in there, mix it up with some sour cream or something else. So, you know, we're sitting there eating, we're drinking, we watching TV, you know, we having a good time, laughing, it's all good. And so the way the room was set up was, it was just his bed like up against the wall, and then it was like a small little kitchenette off to the side, and he had like a little table, like a little breakfast table, and 2 chairs, and you know, the kitchen sink and the stove and all of that over there. We were sitting at the table and talking, and you could see the TV from the living room, the kitchen or the bedroom, because everything was all in one room. You know, we laughing, we having a good time. It's like 11:30, somewhere around midnight now, right? So of course I'm drinking and I'm starting to feel a little tired. He goes and he lays on his bed. Okay, these are all red flags, nigga. I know. Okay, today I know, but back then I didn't really pay much attention to it. But he goes and lays on his bed, and we still talking. I'm still sitting at the table. Yeah, I just get tired. Fuck. Okay, so I go and I sit on the end of the bed. You know, I did want to kiss the guy. Like, I kind of wanted something to happen, but I just wasn't really sure what was gonna go down. But I was still feeling really comfortable. Green, y'all. When I go and sit on the edge of the bed, and he comes up a little bit, and he comes around, and we get talking closer and closer, and it's getting later and later, and all of a sudden we start kissing. So I'm just like, oh, this is good. Rocky loves to kiss. So we was kissing and shit for a long time, and then we just stopped. Okay, so he didn't try nothing. I kind of laid down, I think, while we were kissing, and once we stopped, and he just stopped as well, and he just kind of laid back on his side. Next thing I know, I fell asleep. I know, you guys. I know. But just listen to the story, okay? I fell asleep. When I woke up, I swear it had to be about 2:33 in the morning. I was like, Anthony, wake up. We gotta go. He was just like, oh, okay. Well, just hold on a minute. Of course, the TV is turned down. It's dark in there. He's like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real fast. And I was like, okay. So I was still laying there like, okay, we about to go on back home. He comes out that damn bathroom, you guys. Now, he got the light is still on in the bathroom, so it's like kind of shining into the room, but he has the door pushed, so it's like just a little bit of a shine. But when he comes out the bathroom, that motherfucker ain't got no clothes on, okay? And I was just like, when I tell you he's butt naked, he is butt naked. Nothing, all the muscles and everything out, okay? Just completely naked, and his dick is just hanging and like kind of swerved over to the left, right? And so I was so shocked because, bitch, this is the first time that I have seen a grown-ass man naked in my fucking entire life, okay? Just standing there like, bitch, how you doing? You want to get on this, don't you? And he goes, you sure you ready? And I was just like, oh my God. He was like, what? Oh my God, I gotta go. He was like, what? I said, I gotta go. You don't have any clothes on. And I started like, the tears started to come. He was like, wait, don't cry. Wait, you crying. I wanna go home. I want you to take me home. Wait, don't cry, Roxanne. Wait a minute. I was like, I wanna go home. Why don't you have any clothes on? Why are you doing this? He was like, wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. I thought that we was about to, you was laying there and everything. No, I'm ready to go. So I like get up and I walk out the door. He was like, wait a minute. He come running out after me and he grabs my arm. Now, where the fuck I'm going? Because I'm kind of tipsy. I ain't got no fucking car. I'm way out in Apple Valley. I couldn't even tell you how to get my ass back to Los Angeles. So he was like, wait a minute. I'm going to take you home. Stop crying. I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have come here. He was like, come back in, sit down, let me get my stuff, and I will take you home. Okay. But I was just looking. That thing was so big, and I had never seen nothing like that. I was just looking at it like, what the fuck? And all I could hear in my mind was Debbie saying, Roxanne, you need to make sure you drive your own car. You don't need to be getting stuck with that guy. No. So I was sitting there waiting for the man to get his fucking clothes back on. He get his clothes on. He's like, all right, come on. So we walking out. I'm still sniffling and shit, trying to be fast, trying to fucking be grown. Walking by the pool. Okay, walk by his parents' house. And you guys, I really think that is the only thing that saved me, is the fact that his parents lived up in the front. Because that story probably would have turned out a whole lot different if they were not in that house. And I was stuck in that back house with this grown man with this big dick swinging to the left, naked, trying to get busy with Roxanne. So anyway, we get into his car, and nigga, you ain't never seen a more quiet, more longer drive than trying to get my ass back to Los Angeles. I didn't say nothing. Y'all got in that seat. That nigga had been sunk down all the way to the door, like all the way over like this. And he was just driving like, I didn't say nothing the whole drive home. I think I might have even dozed off a little bit. Okay, just like, again, green. He could have drove me anywhere and, you know, finished the fucking deal. But he drives me on back home and he takes me to my apartment. And, you know, so when I'm getting out, I'm just like, thanks, Anthony. And he was like, no problem. I was like, you mad? He was just like, would you be mad? Bitch. But my whole thing was, I did not say for you to go in there and take your clothes off. We had just said it was time to go. Okay, so yes, after that, Anthony didn't really have no more time for me. And that was my precautionary tale to the young girls out there, to make sure that you always have an out. Do not rely on any man to be taking you anywhere when you don't really know them and you're not really sure. Definitely don't let them take you all the way a fucking hour and a half from your house. You don't know how to get there or back home. Okay, but yeah, that was my dating tales. You guys had a good time back in the 20s. I was very, very lucky because there were a lot of times where I was probably in situations where things could have turned out a whole lot worse than they did. But yeah, my young rock stars out there, y'all be safe out there now. Alright, you guys, let me get off of here. Gotta go get my coffee and get on to work. Hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I've been holding on to that story for a while, but you know, no time like the present, right? Alright, you guys, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to this channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. Alright, so I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. I plan on doing the same. Till next time, rock stars. Bye.